Hi, everybody. The red light's on. We are recording the No Joke Comedy Podcast. As always, I'm Brandon Speaks. Got a few new people here in the studio with us. DJ Valence is here to throw in some input if he wants to. We've got Vivian.
Hello.
Joining us. She's what's your profession, Vivian?
The technical term is exotic dancer, but you can call me a stripper.
Okay. That's all right. You're sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I don't want to offend you in any way, but stripper it is.
They're just strippers. They don't have feelings. What are you talking about?
Oh, no feelings.
We've also got a guest here in the studio. We'll get to him in just a minute, but first, DJ Valence, you got anything you want to talk about? Anything you can think of?
Oh, let's see here. I've just been busy, man. DJing all kinds of different new venues, Blue Bull, the Roost, the Outback in Branson, and just having a good time with it, man. Things have been good.
Did you do any drinking this weekend?
No, I didn't. Man, I quit drinking like 5 episodes ago, I think, and anyway, yeah, I'm good.
Oops.
I had one too many this weekend. I didn't regret it. I actually woke up feeling a lot better than what I thought it was. I was like full on ready to, I'm going to have the Tylenol and some water and something to eat and all that, but I was good.
Yeah, I had one night.
I'm definitely getting older.
The cure, if you can drink a full 64 ounces of Gatorade before you go to sleep, like, I've done that really, really hammered. I don't even know how I did it, but if you can do that, like, you'll wake up feeling surprisingly good.
If I have like Powerade, I'll drink it before, towards the end of the night or before I go to bed. But most of the time, that's my go-to in the morning. Powerade, beef jerky, get that down.
Beef jerky.
Should feel a little bit better. Yeah, it's protein. Get that down. Should feel a little bit better. Then I need a shower. Shower usually helps feel a little bit better. And then it's like, all right, now I need some actual food. And it's usually always like a huge greasy hamburger that I
Right.
Everybody says greasy food's great for a hangover.
No, not greasy food, just a big greasy hamburger. I don't know about anything else. That's always what I crave when I'm hungover.
Steak and shrimp is my hangover cure.
Jeez.
You're
an expensive hangover date.
Yeah, my hangover cure is just spending the next day miserable and hating myself and my life.
I do that too.
And then going to sleep and then waking up the next day feeling halfway decent. So that's what helps me.
I know we can put a man on the moon and everyone's got a freaking computer in their pocket, but we can't figure out how to shake the hangovers.
Good point.
I always go to the we can put a man on the moon.
Well, I'm going to keep practicing. I'm just kidding.
I'm not ready to give up.
We'll figure something out. If they can come up with nail polish that can tell you if you have a date rape drubbing in your drink, but they can't figure out...
What?
Wait, you don't know about this?
No.
Yes. These kids at a university came up with a nail polish. It is pink, I think, when you put it on. And you can swirl it in your drink, and if there's like 5 different drugs in your drink, your nail will turn black. And so you know before you drink your drink.
Wow. That would make for some awkward conversation if you're really digging on some guy and you swirl your drink.
You do it for like 10 seconds or something. I can't quote stats about such things, but I just saw an article about it and I thought it was very interesting.
This is how I see it going down. Crowded party, girl, guy, talking. She's got her drink. She's fingering it. Looks at her finger. All of a sudden it changes colors and she just, boom! Nut punch.
Pretty much. And then she leaves.
Screw
and
you.
She's good.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah.
So if they can come
she
up
gets
with
to make it
something
home
like
that night with her
then...
panties and everything where it needs to be.
Mm.
Wow, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. It's such a scary world. That's what it's come to.
But at least they've got it.
Well,
at least they can see and
we were
be able to test it out.
We were up by JQH Arena, and there's just like this. It was me and my dad. We were going to a wrestling show. And we're walking down the little sidewalk there, and there's like this kind of phone box just in a very weird spot. And we're both kind of like, what the hell is that for? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's for women that feel like they're maybe going to get attacked or raped or something.
The emergency
like
pull things that have the phone, and then you push the button.
Yeah.
Emergency, yeah.
Is that what it's for?
Yeah, so in case you're attacked or something and you're on campus, you can push the button and help
Somebody
will come.
will...
Yeah.
I was just kind of making a joke, but...
It's the real thing. Yeah.
Jeez. I'll tell you one thing that's on the top of my mind right now. Do you smoke cigarettes?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank God, because I'm leaving Dollar General earlier, and this car pulls right up next to me, and this woman gets out with two things in her hands, got a cigarette just hanging out of her mouth, and all I can think is women are so unattractive when they're smoking cigarettes. It's just ridiculous to me.
Agreed. Definitely.
You agree?
Know, man,
So gross.
There's a lot of guys that get into that.
No, there's no way. Willie, what's your
The
opinion?
most famous movie actress in the world at one time, Betty Davis, she'd always have a cigarette hanging from her mouth.
That's
But she never
that's
inhaled.
that's decades
paid.
ago. My thing is I'm not attracted to it. I think it makes women unattractive. Then there's also the fact that if you keep smoking cigarettes your entire life, you're probably going to get more and more unattractive.
You're such a square, man.
Hey,
Speaking of squares,
I care about
you're
people's
such a
health.
square.
I care about people's health. This is not only this is a health thing. I care about the beauty of the women that are out there. I don't want them turning into old beat up catcher's mitts.
I'd be more worried about plastic surgery than I would be about cigarettes.
Oh.
Because that's more famous now than cigarettes
Oh
are.
yeah, that reminds me. Me and my wife were out of town this weekend down at Eureka at a conference, and there was this woman that just looked like she had been chopped up too many times.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's scary.
Women are putting cement in their thighs, thinking that'll make their butts look bigger, and their skin's rotting, and it's just gross.
I said I'm all for natural beauty.
Agreed.
Take what you got.
Stuff is supposed to sag.
Yeah, take
You're
the
supposed to get wrinkles. You're supposed to get stretch marks.
gravity's supposed to take its
Supposed to
course.
happen.
Things happen. Trust me, I accepted my big nose long time
You do have a
ago.
big nose.
You don't got to tell me.
I'm just saying.
You don't got to tell me. But that's one thing I made my peace with a long time ago. I thought it was going to be a problem for my entire life, but hey, I found somebody, so I got nothing to worry about.
And speak about now the women again. Now Betty Davis, he put to smoking, and as her career advanced, she got older women. She'd play older women, and that was some of her best parts, like Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and these horror pictures. And she was really. I think she was better when she aged than when she was young.
I would say I wouldn't mind seeing, if you are going to smoke and you're a woman, what's the long cigarette holders? What are those called?
Cigarette holders.
I'd like
cigarette holders.
Yeah, I'd like to see those make a
Really?
comeback. If those get brought back, I could maybe tolerate it a little bit. Something about just a cigarette just kind of hanging out of a woman's lips
On your bottom
while
lip.
while she's trying to pull her kid out of the
You
car and
miss-
lock the door and
you miss-
everything.
Like with the movie stars, like they would always with the flourish with their hand and so forth. It had to be the flourish.
It was almost kind of
Yeah,
like
no,
it's
it
a
was
prop,
like a prop. Yes, yeah.
kind of like a prop.
Like a lot of your old time comics, so they use a cigar for their timing, or at least used to use a cigarette.
I hear a lot of people
a
say that
cigarette.
it's just about having something in their hand for comfort.
So, since he's joining in anyway, who's this guy right here?
All right, we're going to get to our guest. I got to it a little quick. This is Old Man Willie. He is the man who put the atric in geriatric. He's a comedian. He started doing comedy when he was 67. He's now a ripe 82. He came to Springfield 17 years ago from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
A long ways. I don't know how you ended up here, but maybe we can get into that.
Just
His style of comedy is one-liners. Don't see a whole lot of that anymore. Very personalized. Style goes back to the 40s and 50s, influenced by the vaudeville burlesque and the Borscht Belt comedians. So, Willie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Woo.
Come on, Vivian, give him a round of applause.
With my boobs. How
Yeah,
about
show 'em
that?
your boobs.
That works.
Yeah, make something clap.
That works.
So, Willie, what have you been up to? You got anything on your mind?
Not really. If I had something on my mind, I would be here. This is like an interlude for me. This may be my second experience in doing something like this. So I came in primarily for the experience of going through this there.
Awesome. Breaking
I
you in.
consider my clawing my way into the big time there.
Breaking into the
I expected to be on one of
podcast.
these here, these 12 o'clock late night shows and so forth. Will interview me on the couch.
Yeah, hey man, we had Skeeter Lee from Texas last week, so we're getting kind of big time
Yep.
too, man.
Stepping out into the other states of the United States of America.
But we're glad. I mean, obviously, we've hit our peak with you now, so it's only downhill from here, I guess.
I think I might be. I am, and I think without a doubt, I'm in Springfield. I'm possibly the oldest active comedian in Springfield.
I
I thought you were
would.
going to say person.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But I
82's not that old.
Not that bad.
No, but you don't see too many 82-year-olds. One of the in the newspaper, one of the 82-year-old man there was.
Yeah. But 80, yeah, probably the oldest comedian, working
And
here in Springfield.
I imagine in the entire state, there's very few people in their 80s that standing
Well,
up.
when you get into it at 67, yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a late start. Like, I know Ron White got started when he was about 30, somewhere around in there. So yeah, you're about 30 years past that.
Yeah. So prior to that, it was like what you might call a table comic, where I'd go around like from table to table in places and do magic tricks and tell jokes and so on down the line. But I was more or less like a prop comedian at that time. I always had a prop, the cup, the balls, the sponge, or the card, or something. I'd walk around
Something
and do
to
this.
kind of...
And when I first came to Springfield, they had open mic in Sir Gravely Comedy Club, and not ever working without a prop in my hand. I'd go up and I'd do, I'd like 2 or 3 standard tricks, like one with a duck and one with a rope and maybe another with some boxes. And I do that one week and I do it another week at the same audience. I said, I got to change because I can't do this for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
So that's when I made the transition from using props to get away from props.
To try
And
to just
it
go
was
at it,
traumatic.
grow at it yourself.
It is difficult when it's like a security you have. Just like a lot of people think they're funny, they write these karaoke bars, they tell those people laugh. Then when you get up on the stage to do comedy, something happens to them.
Oh, it's a different
Yeah,
beast.
I'm just saying it's something when you have a compressed amount of time to put so much information into it. And my one-liners, it's the reason you don't hear many one-liners because itself is a skill.
Yeah.
It is a skill. No one realizes. You think, you just get a bunch of jokes and you just read them. It's just like saying now you have a musical score, saying like a classic song. It means absolutely nothing.
I have different skills, so.
It means absolutely nothing. But just to deliver a line, is very, very difficult. The pause, the setup, and it's not only the joke you tell that's important, it's the joke before you told it.
Yeah.
Or the joke before that. Sometimes you have to throw in a bad joke, and it relaxes the audience, and then you hit them with a good one there. You know you're not going to get a laugh, but it's like a filler or something.
You can almost kind of think of like a game of pool. You're always trying to set yourself up for that next shot. Run the table.
Not too deep in the technique, but sometimes, like even when you deliver lines, like or ideas, you deliver that idea or that one line with one breath.
I'll ask you
One
this:
breath.
how long does it take you, or on average, to really kind of craft a one-liner together, like from the seed of an idea to getting it worked out on stage?
I just get hit and miss, trial and error. Like I heard a good joke, and I used it one time, got a little laugh, and I built on it. Like the first show was like, I really feel terrific tonight. I really feel terrific. Rainbows are shooting out of my ass. Now that was the first time I used it. I got a little chuckle. Then that was my opening line. Then I went into it after I was in the line. I says, I really feel terrific. In fact, every time I bend over to tie my shoes, rainbows shoot out of my ass. So now it gives a reason. No, I'm just saying that's how it.
Adding to it.
Yes, and then I know it's first time. It's like showing your baby the first time. It will wake and won't wake and so forth. And
Oh yeah.
and I like to always open with a joke. And I think when people open like with the audience, how you doing? I didn't come to ask you how you doing.
Yeah.
Well, let's give a nice round of applause for the person before me. You got a wonderful. Let's have applause for yourself. And it's like they're pandering to the audience. I like to open with a line like, last week my doctor gave me 20 minutes to live. But I finally convinced him that me and his wife were just close friends. Now, I like to open one-liners there. And if that one-liner hits, and now with my introduction, like Old Man Willie, the man who put the adjective in geriatric, now, if this delivered properly, this will get a laugh.
Right.
This will get a laugh. So I imagine everyone goes through it to get that first laugh.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
I was saying to get that first note. So when I get up, if I have them laugh like with deprecation humor, like Old Man Willie's, he's so old, he's old enough to be his own grandfather. Now this gets a laugh, and now when I get up, I can build on those laughs. I'm not just starting from a dead center. That's why I can get away open with a one line.
Yeah. To me, you always want to get at least a little laugh right out of the gate because
Yeah.
it kind of gives you a little bit more of that confidence.
But
to
they
keep it going.
maintain for the first 30 seconds and not hearing what you're saying because they're getting tuned in to your voice and your expression. Just like if you have an Englishman sometime or someone from the South, it takes you a while for your ear to get tuned into their voice.
Yeah.
But
True.
sometimes I come up with such a sharpness of voice that they have to pay attention. Where there's no,
Yeah, sometimes,
it's
especially
not conversational.
some of these open mics where you got a crowd full of people that maybe aren't really there to listen to comedy.
No.
So you got to do something to kind of draw attention
Yes.
to you. And if you just jump right into it, yeah, you're going to have half the audience listening to you, and then the others, if they don't respond right away, you're kind of dead in the water.
Then I'm in for the close. Like now, the close, they always like a lot of comics you see on TV. Well, that's my time. No, the close. I think that's a very poor way of closing. I like to close with like the American Safety. Like to make an announcement from the American Safety Council. If you're drinking and driving, please be careful because I walk in my sleep. No, I like to close with a joke because you can have it doesn't have to be this great, but sometimes if you have good clothes, this is the last thing they remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like if you're on a cruise or a banquet or something, or the last day of the vacation, they always have the steak or the lobster this year, and they avoid it. But your last meal is the best one. That way, when you leave, you think all the meals were great.
Yeah, that's a great
The finish,
point. That's
the
a great
finish,
point.
the finish. That's when they even when people are working sales, no matter what a great salesman is, they can be the greatest salesman in the world, but they have to have the clothes.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
they
you
don't have
gotta.
the
Yeah,
clothes-
you gotta be a closer.
Yes, that's it.
And that's why sometimes, I don't know if you remember the episode of Seinfeld where he's basically telling George the same thing. Like, you got to go out on a high note. You always got to go out on a high note. And if you feel like that may be your highest note, like, thank them and get the hell out of there. I've sometimes had to, sometimes you have a certain amount planned or you have a point where you're
Yes.
going, but you hit that point, you're getting a good response, and then you may get one, really good response. It's like, hey, that's good enough for me. I'm out of here.
Then at times I like to tell silly jokes, but they sometimes, well, you can't say that like for adults. Like I was having lunch today in an outdoor cafe. It started to rain. It took me 2 hours to finish my bowl of soup. It's silliness, but I want to like sometimes get the image of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll throw in these real corny jokes, and sometimes it pays off. Because I got was one place was women with kids like say 10, 12, 14 years old. It was the well, it was one of the places down Boonville Avenue, and I used a lot of these corny jokes. What do you call a what do you call a man who was struck by lightning? Rod. Or what do you say to a one-legged hitchhiker? Hop in.
Oh, God.
Well, last week, my cousin Charlie was born. They issued him a death certificate instead of a birth certificate. So last week he went down to the Hall of Records and he says, I want this mistake corrected immediately. So they shot him.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's why I mean, just sheer silliness, illogic. Because that's why kids like illogical things. They have control of the language.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
not serious. That's why it's always like the question and answer. How many you get this? Or how many is this?
Well, it's also, I equate it to like movies. Some people go to a movie to really, get invested in it and every little detail. Some people just want to go watch a bunch of action,
Yes.
not have to think very much, and then leave. So it's always trying to play to your crowd, trying to figure out what your crowd's looking
Yes.
for and try to give it to them.
Not
Just
just
taking
jokes,
it
but
temperature.
your outfit. I like your outfit a lot.
It's retro.
You like that?
Yes, I
retro.
do. You have this teal sweater thing going on with the pale yellow
would-
shirt and this.
Would you call that a bow tie?
beautiful bow tie.
Now, let me ask you, while we're talking about his outfit and his attire, if this guy
Oh,
walked
Lord.
into the club,
Yes.
would you look at him and go, man, I want to give him a lap dance?
Yeah, actually, I would, because I'd play with your bow tie.
Whoa! All right!
Pull on your bow tie a little
One
bit.
time I was in this strip club and they had this big Bertha that was there. She was a 235-pound stripper and she used a hammock for a G-string.
Oh, goodness.
And she closed the act out. When she closed the act out, she told me I was sitting in the front row and she figured it'd be a good laugh. She wanted to give me a lap dance. But that is one thing you'll never see, a 250-pound stripper giving me a lap dance. She may give me one, but you won't be able to see me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Disappearing or clapping butt cheeks.
That's why I always said I couldn't be with I'm a skinny guy. I always said, I couldn't be with too big of a woman because it just looks a little weird. Like, I don't want to be walking down the sidewalk, and just give that image to people. So,
I definitely always question that, like, how did this happen? when I see it.
Yeah, it
How
looks
does
like
that
such,
work?
it looks like such an odd
It
pair.
is referred to as the equalization of the species. Equalization of the species.
Trying to balance
All
things out.
tall people married tall people, and all short people married short people, and all fat people married fat people. Would be like a race of dogs, like a Great Dane compared to a Chihuahua. It would be a breeding. So you have no choice. Now this big tall guy with this short fat woman, he had no choice in it. It was part of the genetic buildup.
That's all
That
I
is-
need for
that
this
is
show.
a-
Thank you.
that-
That's
yeah.
all I need my whole
Well, that
The
life.
is-
science has been proven.
Now you have to take right into like Arthur Miller's a great playwright. He marries Marilyn Monroe, which wasn't considered too bright at the time. No, but
So happy
it
you
seems
referenced
like
Marilyn Monroe. I said I'm just happy you referenced Marilyn Monroe.
yes, yeah. But it's like the equalization of species, and you feel you have a control that you're going to pick what you want, but you have no control whatsoever.
Huh.
You think you have, but you don't.
I will say this: there's
Opposites.
Next time I get caught cheating, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, listen to this podcast. This guy knows what he's talking about.
yeah, we got it all figured out in
The
this.
philosopher Schopenhauer came up with that, not myself.
Okay.
Schopenhauer.
I read a book once, and it was called "Do Gentlemen Really Prefer Blondes?" And it's basically just like a breakdown of all the, why do women like a guy's smell? Why are guys attracted to two girls? All that kind of stuff, the biomechanics of all of it, and it's amazing how much stuff is like just. It's your chemistry, it's your hormones, your mood at the time.
Pheromones.
Yeah, there's so much going on in you that kind of dictates
That goes back a million
what
years.
you're attracted
That goes
to
back
at
to
that
1,000
time.
years for survival of the group and so on down the line.
Yeah, like a woman's, cycle has an effect on.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes girls like the bad boy. Sometimes the women want, the security of a guy that's going to take care of them and they can trust. It's always kind of a mixed bag. So.
Okay, so I have a question for you. How are people attracted to inanimate objects or animals?
That's
Like, I just saw an article, and this woman is in love with a tree, and she named him Tim.
a tree.
A tree.
Is it in her yard?
There's a picture of her holding the tree, and she's like smiling, and she's hugging it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so in love with him, and he gives me
Well,
amazing orgasms." And you're like,
I
"What?
get
How's that possible?"
I get
It wears a strap on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get sick with some of these old ladies. I live in a retirement home, and they're with their little poodle thing, and they're walking around like a lover. You always know, and they're so. I don't even want to talk to them because everything centers on that. I'm holding the
dog.
and it just turns you off totally. Like, I don't want to talk to this human being. Or I walk there. As a dog, she had all the teeth pulled out for some reason. Had bad teeth. It weighs around 4 pounds. And if I walk past, over the pill back down, she's gonna bite me. Oh, yeah, crazy. I'm not interested in your dog. No, but I have to. No, but I just say just something that revolts you.
Hey,
The-
I'll give you this piece of advice. This is what I learned from getting married. Women come with baggage or accessories.
Everyone comes
so
with
messy.
baggage.
Hell, that's true, but some women come with more than others.
No, get back to comedy. Now, comedy clubs. Some English man was, I don't recall his name, who was analyzing it. It was a book written in England by an English comedian and so forth, describing the comedy clubs of who comes. He says, like, now, some people just come to the comedy club because they want a different place to get drunk.
Okay, yeah.
Some people come because the boyfriend wants to see the comedian. She's not interested whatsoever.
That's me.
Yeah, and now some people come in because they've never been to a comedy club,
That's me.
so you want to see what it's like. So it's a different mix. And now, even when you have the best show you ever had, you only have like 30% of the people that really want you and like you. The rest are just going as a group reactive, clapping and applauding. They don't even know what's going on. Like you see these concerts with these guys where they have 15,000 people in the thing. They're not singing. They're just laughing because it's just a group thing of hypnosis where everybody's laughing, so I'll laugh. When walk out, what did he say that was funny? I don't know, but geez, he was funny though.
Huh.
It's kind of that mob mentality. Like, if the group's
Yes.
doing it, like, I'm going to be involved. And that's why I'll ask you this. If you're in a smaller, venue, bar, whatever,
Yes.
at an open mic, no one likes being that one person laughing
Yes.
when no one
Yes.
else is.
That's right.
So people are sometimes they may think it's funny.
Yes.
And they'll give you a little chuckle.
Yes.
Because they're afraid
Yes.
to be that one laughing when no one else is. And I don't know, it bothers me because I can be that guy. Like, if something's funny, it's funny.
Yeah, like people came up and apologized to me, said, I thought you were very funny, but I just don't laugh.
Yeah, it's like,
And
well,
now
what are you
older
doing
people-
here?
Now, when you get 50, 60 years old, even when you're 40, you don't laugh. Now, you watch these here night programs, what are you there, like Johnny Carson, I don't even know the names of the ones there. They always have young people in the front. They react. Me, if I was the front row, I'd sit there like that, no.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they always have the young, they'll react. And I know, I basically have done this experiment now. If the four of us are laughing and laughing, and we're just talking there, someone will walk in and they'll immediately pick up what they're laughing at. They won't know what they're laughing at, but it's the proper thing to do. Now, if someone is laid out in the casket and we're all sitting here solemn, and they're talking like this, yeah, the person will automatically pick up on that. He won't come in like, yeah.
Yeah, just
So
booming
you're
in. Hey, what's
influenced.
everybody doing here?
Yeah.
And then
That's
when
a
I
good
worked this
thing.
a great number of years, I noticed now when you'd have some of these comedians that came in, they were on the Bob and Tom show, where people were heard of them. They heard them like Tim Wilson and so forth. Now, when they were on, like Tim Wilson, when he was on, they'd have the line up for the people to get him in, and they were laughing before they got into the room. So it was
Right.
hard to do bad, but because the audience was so with, because they came because Bill Wilson was on there.
I think there's that effect. I know when I go and see
Tim
a
Wilson did.
comedian, their reputation precedes them, and you're expecting to laugh, and you've got
Yes.
that inside you, and it's that's just all part of it to me. And I've noticed too at the end of shows, you'll see people, acting crazy after the show because they're so just psyched up and excited about
Got
what
that
they just
energy
saw.
going.
They've got the energy's contagious, man, and that's in any form of entertainment.
Yeah, that's to me
But-
what you're really supposed to be doing is you're supposed to have the energy, you're supposed to have the excitement, you're supposed to be having fun up there, so that way they're sitting there in the seats going, "Oh, this guy's having a great time. Like I need to be having a great time. I'm sitting here on my hands,
So-
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you mentioned that. I know I saw you at Sir Gregory's
Yes.
way back.
Yes.
You opened for, was it Faye Woodruff? Is that her name? The
Yeah, Grandma from Hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grandma.
I don't remember a lot of that show, but I remember you because you went on early. So, but I kind of wanted to know just about that place and about the comedy culture in Springfield back then, maybe
Yeah.
versus now. I know we used to have a lot of big names come through.
Yes.
I know you
Yeah.
opened for pretty much all of them,
Yes.
didn't you? Like, Screech keeps coming to mind. I know he was here quite a few times. And
They came to mind with the police department also.
you stabbed somebody? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was switchblade, so it's a thing there. It was like you can stab a guy with a knife, but if you use a switchblade, I think it's a little bit heavier in the bar. Then he was making porno movies, disgusting porno movies.
He was
I heard.
carrying a switchblade with him?
Yeah, and he stabbed somebody in the bar. Up in Minnesota, I believe.
I guess I
It's
missed
not
that
funny
one.
that somebody, Screech.
Well, it's not funny that somebody got stabbed, but it's funny that he was carrying around a switchblade.
Yeah,
like-
but I'm just saying this was maybe 5 months ago. This is not old
Oh.
history.
But yeah, I mean, you talk about being pigeonholed. I mean, what do you do if you're Screech? Like, that's got to be a horrible existence.
yeah, he kind of
Not saying he should stab somebody. but I
screwed
mean,
himself. But I don't know, like from what little bit I've heard or learned of him, like he almost kind of seems like that person. He's probably carrying a switchblade because he knows he pisses people off all the time.
It could be.
Like he does seem to rub people the wrong way. And then there was the porno thing that he did there for a little while. It's just like
I'm sorry I missed it.
No, you didn't.
yeah, I didn't see it either, but I don't think we're missing much.
No, so I was just curious, like what? See, there was Sir Laugh-A-Lot actually was the club, right?
Yes.
Inside, and then the Funny Bone.
Yeah, I was gonna
wasn't
say, didn't
that
we have a
out?
funny bone?
Yes, that was in the
It was off.
down on Norton Road, right off the highway, off 44.
So do you think comedy in Springfield is better now, or what do you think? I mean,
It's prohibited with the prices you have to pay to get performers in. It's not that easy. And then you to run a club with comedians, you have to pay big money to get them in. You got to pay for their room and so forth, the motel, and this says. And then if it's rain, it's bad. They still want their money.
right.
And you I haven't been to any comedy clubs in St. Louis or Kansas City, but I imagine the ones there you gotta pay $15 to get in, and you got a 3-drink minimum, so it might cost you $100 to go to a comedy club.
Yeah.
Now, how many people can afford that? You might go as once on anniversary, geez, let's go. But in a big city, maybe they can handle it. But in a small city, you can't get people here to go for $100, and you need repeat customers. If you don't have, no matter what business you're in, if you don't have repeat, because all your money goes to advertising. If you lose in the advertising, because it's big money.
Right.
And you have to have people come back. That's why some clubs they don't want you to be too raunchous, because they don't run the people out. Because you get too raunchy of acts, they'll make you laugh, and they'll make you really think they're funny. But after seeing them, you won't want to come back the second time. I can't bring my wife to see this. I can't bring let people know I go to the place like this.
Yeah.
So that's why it's all right to be a little spicy in the material, but when you go overboard, it's unless you develop to a certain clientele, and that's what you want. But I'm just saying, it's that the club owners say, why should I pay this amount of money for a comedian when I can get a couple of musicians, local musicians, and musicians come in and work the whole night, 5 hours for the same amount of half the amount of money.
Yeah, to me, Springfield's more of a music town now because it's a college town, or I don't know how it gets referenced to that.
Gregory's was a little disadvantaged because they had the pool room going for them.
Sure.
And it was a good highway spot where they get the people from Joplin and so forth. It wasn't that far off, so a lot of people would come down, especially from Joplin and I guess for other areas to see the club.
Okay.
Would you say a fair amount of it's been kind of killed off? Because, I mean, you've got so much exposure on TV, with cable, satellite, and then now with the internet, like there's just so much.
But
Netflix.
There's
so much comedy out there.
Not
like
funny though. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, you get a lot of bad stuff,
no,
but
it's not bad. It's just some people they just don't. Just like you can't enjoy ballet unless you're in watching the ballet or opera. You have to be in the opera. Certain things don't translate onto the TV
I
screen.
definitely feel like it's still better live, whether it's concerts, sports.
The ballet. If you don't see the ballet. If you're not there, you're going to appreciate the grandeur of the chandeliers, the costume, or opera and so forth. It's for some reason you don't see opera much on TV, and it's a tradition for the last 300 years, I imagine.
I can see, some stuff's funny when you're watching it on a computer screen or you're watching it at home, but you don't feel that like we were talking about earlier, the energy,
the dynamic,
the emotion that's in a room. Yeah, you want the experience.
Community experience.
When I saw Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, I got goosebumps. It was the most amazing experience ever. The music, like you said, the chandelier coming up and then coming out, and they're singing and echoing.
Where was this?
All of it was just wonderful.
Now, did you expect that? Like, were you kind of shocked at how you...
It was wonderful.
Where was this?
In New York.
What was it? The opera or what?
Phantom of the Opera.
The opera?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Well, that was a play, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No. The reason I say it was a play, it wasn't in the Metropolitan Opera House.
No.
Oh, that's what I'm saying there. Yeah, because you see the Metropolitan Opera House, but they built in Lincoln Center. What happens is so grandiose, you lose track of what's on the stage. They got these curtains and chandeliers and everything. Now you have the New York State Theater, just playing Formica walls and just beautifully outlay there, and the performers like it there better. Or you hit Carnegie Hall, goes back 100 years. They died at the Carnegie Hall for the sound and the atmosphere.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about the atmosphere of whatever venue you've got. But I agree with that. Sometimes things can just be too distracting. You've got so much stuff going on, and you're not really paying attention to actually what's going on. That's like with ball games now. Like every baseball stadium's got restaurants, they've got kids' play zones, they've got games, they've got all this junk.
We've been going for a while, haven't we?
Yeah. Just like you go into some places to eat, there's so much flashing for Mike with the airport or McDonald's. The food doesn't. Now you take a broken place down like the Outlands or something. No,
Yeah.
I'm using that as a contrast there. But some place you walk in, it's just so Formica and this and that, and it's...
Keep it simple.
That's why... like a strip club. You go in, there's flipping games on the TV, there's lights going everywhere, and lasers, and the music's loud, and the beat's bumping.
That's like
You're like, how am I supposed to focus on anything here?
You're distracting from the women. anyways, venues are venues, places to perform are places to perform. Everybody's got a preference. But Willie, where are you going to be performing at? Anytime soon, or
The fourth Friday this month, I'll be the opening act at the Springfield Improvisation, located down on South Street next to Ernie Biggs's. And like that time, I have to leave early because they have open mic at the Flea, so I'm going to be headed right over there. So it's been nice sitting with these nice people and so forth.
we appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, Willie.
Definitely.
You're a legend in this town, man. Everybody knows you, so thank you for being here, and we look forward to
If you want to come back, hey, anytime you're ready, we'll have a spot here for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Willie.
All right. Well, that was interesting. Old Man Willie.
I wish we would have had him for longer, man. There's so much, other stuff I wanted to talk to
Yeah,
him
there was a
about,
couple of
like-
things I would have liked to scratch the surface of a little bit more. Willie was actually, I didn't get a chance to tell him this, but first couple of open mics, that I went to, I was the only guy doing comedy in a room full of poetry, so I felt like the idiot. But it was probably the third or fourth time Old Man Willie shows up. I got a comedy, a little bit of comedy competition. And,
Or camaraderie.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of how it was. Like, I didn't look at it as competition, but it was definitely interesting that I think he went first because he knew he'd been there several more times than me, and people even knew him there. So he had kind of a little following just then. So it was a little interesting. I don't run into him, at a couple of other places, but like he said, if he can't take the bus there, he's a little limited.
Yeah, I talked to him. I actually dropped him off at the Flea. I talked to him a little bit about maybe following him around or something. I just want to get a day in the life of Old Man Willie because it's so interesting to me. I mean, he's 82 years old, right? That's what he said?
Yeah,
82.
yeah.
And to think about what most 82-year-olds are doing
right now.
and to see him getting out there, doing comedy, riding the bus, and still pursuing that dream is pretty awesome.
Still going to those lengths, yeah.
I have a lot of respect for him just because of that, and he's a fixture in Springfield comedy, the history of Springfield comedy, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Whether people like it or not, and I'll give anybody props. Like if it makes you happy, do it. You don't have to always get paid for it. You don't have to be a big, huge star. Whatever makes you happy, go out and do it.
Absolutely. So what did you think about Old Man Willie, Miss Vivian?
Well, I think his facial expressions after were more funny than his original jokes because he'd kind of stare at you and he'd open his mouth real wide and you could see his pretty white teeth and then we'd all just kind of laugh at his facial expressions. But
facial
his
expressions
outfit
are part
was
of it.
very unique. I don't know if he dresses himself, but he does a good job at it, whoever dresses him.
I'll ask you this question. You think I could pull off the bow tie?
No, I think your nose is too big.
Oh, wow.
His nose was perfect.
You think that's what would ruin the bow tie for me?
I think it's the nose. I think it would take away from the bow tie. But I think if you wore a regular tie, then make your nose look even longer.
Oh, my.
Well,
You brought up the nose.
That's good because
You
I
brought up the nose.
hopefully don't ever plan on having to wear a tie. I told my wife, like, if I don't ever have to wear a suit my entire life,
Picture
I'll
you
be
in like
happy.
a white button-up. You see a little bit of chest hair. That's if you have chest hair.
I got like a few sprouts.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then don't unbutton it. Just keep it buttoned
No, I'm
up.
always shirtless,
Oh, okay.
especially during the summer. Yeah.
You're that guy.
I'm not shy about my
in the
sprouts.
back pocket and walking down the street with his shirt off. That's you.
No. I'm just more comfort, trying to be cool. Shorts, no t-shirt, maybe socks and shoes, but I don't know if we want to get into it. I can get into what people wear and what people don't wear, but since summer's coming up, I'll say I hate guys in flip-flops. Guys shouldn't wear
As long
open-toed
as they have
shoes.
pretty feet, then
Dude.
it's okay.
No.
I disagree. I wear flip-flops. I can't really...
As long as you
Can't
don't have
get
like
with you on that one.
werewolf toenails and you could like scratch people with them, then that's
Yeah, some
okay.
people don't take
Got, like,
any
manicures.
consideration
Unless you got,
into
like,
what they
hobbit
look
feet.
like.
That's not good at all.
Or if you're on your way to the pool or the beach or something like that, it's acceptable. Or around your house.
If you're
but
going to the beach, you don't wear flip-flops.
why?
Because they get full of sand and then you end up flicking it on your
What do
butt.
you wear at the beach?
You take them off. As soon as you
Well, I
get
know,
to the
but-
sand, you take them off.
Yeah, once you get to the sand, but you got to get there first. You can't just walk around barefooted.
And if they're too thin, then your feet get hot because the ground's too hot.
Oh, I know, I hate that. I always hate stepping on a hot, like when the pool, the around the pool's real hot, and you gotta
Right.
get
Don't run. It's
can't-
hot.
yeah,
And I can't wear pole shoes.
like one of those little Jesus lizards walking on water.
Good God.
I love those little things.
Let's get Old Man Willie back on the show.
Yeah. We'll see what his opinion is.
So you guys don't know this because I haven't told you, but I have a bell on my underwear. You can hear it when I jump up and down and walk.
Now, do you get a lot of comments on that?
I do. People ask me what's ringing, and I don't say anything. And I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear anything.
You just play aloof?
Yeah, listen. When I jump up and down, you can hear it.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
I didn't hear
You
anything.
didn't hear it? There's no way you
Here,
can.
come here. Stand back up. Stand
Yeah,
back
yeah.
up.
Okay.
Okay,
Listen,
turn around.
listen.
Turn around. Now let's.
You're going to ring it?
Now try it. Yeah, you can barely hear that. You can't.
I can definitely hear it. You just
I mean, I heard
to
it,
see
but
the
you
underwear.
can't.
It's all
Well,
right,
that
forgive
too.
you.
But man, on that note, I think we need to quit while we're ahead.
Get out while the getting's good.
Definitely.
You got dollar.
get out.
You got dollar bills to go get, or are you off tonight?
Maybe a couple. I like 20s better, but dollar bills will work if you're shortchanged.
You got a lot of people around here throwing out 20s.
Yeah, actually, I do.
Well, you must be good at what you do.
Oh, definitely.
I can agree. But, anyway,
I had a good time. Willie
you.
had a good experience, I hope. Maybe somewhere down the road we can get him and his bow tie back.
yeah, I hope so, man. I hope we, Oh, and by the way, like, subscribe,
Tell a
all that good
friend.
stuff, tell a friend. Talk to AJ Finney tonight. So
Scheduled for next
tentatively,
week.
we've got AJ Finney next week, which is awesome. He was
Awesome.
on. I think he was on Last Comic Standing. I haven't done all my research yet, but
We'll find out.
pretty sure. But
We'll
he's,
figure out the
either
deets.
way, he's very talented and one of the biggest names in this area, anyway. So really looking forward to having him on the show.
Tune in next
yeah,
week.
man. We go ahead, man.
That's it for us at the No Joke Comedy Podcast. Vivian, you got anything to add?
Keep your dollar bills crisp. I have no idea.
Well.
It's good for strippers. You can
If
think a lot better.
that's what works for you. All right, folks. We've had fun.